If your own family betrayed you and left you with nothing, would you expose their darkest secrets to the world to get what's yours? I'm sitting in my car right now, hands shaking on the steering wheel, staring at a notification on my phone that just changed my life. You have been removed from the Miller family group chat. No explanation, no goodbye, just a digital execution. For 30 years, I've been the reliable one, the one who stayed behind in our small town to take care of Grandpa Silas while my three older siblings, Sarah, James, and Leo, moved to the city to chase real careers. I was the one who changed his bandages, listened to his stories about the war for the 1,000th time, and held his hand when the dementia started stealing his pieces. But the second Grandpa's heart stopped beating last Tuesday, the vultures circled. Sarah, a high-powered corporate lawyer, didn't even wait for the body to be cold before she started asking about the deed to the lake house. James, who works in finance, which I'm pretty sure just means he loses other people's money, was already calculating the value of Grandpa's vintage watch collection. And Leo? Leo just wanted to know if the old man had any cash hidden under the floorboards. They didn't come to the funeral for Grandpa. They came for the loot. And because I was just a local librarian with no ambition, they assumed I was a non-factor. They treated me like the help. Oh, honey, can you make sure the caterers know about Sarah's gluten allergy? Hey, can you box up those old books? We're thinking of selling the house by the end of the month. I didn't say anything. I just watched. I watched them go through Grandpa's desk like they were looting a tomb. I watched them laugh about how easy it was going to be to split the estate 3 ways. They didn't even mention my name. It was like I didn't exist. Then came the group chat removal. That was Sarah's doing. She's always been the one to clean up the mess. I guess I was the mess. I tried calling her, but it went straight to voicemail. I tried James. Blocked. I tried Leo. He actually picked up, but only to say, "Look, it's just business. You don't have the overhead we do. You'll be fine." Then he hung up. They thought they'd won. They thought they'd successfully bullied the quiet sister out of her share. But what they didn't know, what they couldn't possibly know, is that Grandpa Silas wasn't as gone as he seemed. In those quiet hours between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., when the rest of the world was asleep and it was just me and him, he told me things. He showed me things. He knew exactly what his other grandchildren were. He called them the empty suits. And 6 months ago, he had me drive to a small, dusty office 3 towns over, not to his usual lawyer, Sarah's friend, but to a man named Mr. Henderson, a retired judge who didn't care about corporate politics. I'm looking at the folder in my passenger seat right now. It's thick, blue, and smells like old tobacco. It's not just a will, it's a roadmap to their destruction. Grandpa didn't just leave me the house, he left me the black ledger. See, Grandpa Silas wasn't just a retired clockmaker. In the 70s and 80s, he was the primary bookkeeper for the biggest construction firm in the state. He saw every bribe, every kickback, and every off-the-books payment that built the very foundations of the firms my siblings now work for. And he kept receipts. Physical, undeniable receipts. I remember the day he gave it to me. He looked me in the eye, his grip surprisingly strong for a 90-year-old man, and said, "They're going to try to erase you, Lily. They think you're small because you're kind. Show them that kindness has a limit." I didn't want to use it. I really didn't. I just wanted my family back. I wanted us to sit around the table and talk about the time Grandpa accidentally set the turkey on fire. But they chose the group chat removal. They chose the business route. So I'm going to give them business. I start the car and drive toward the lake house. I know they're there right now, probably drinking Grandpa's expensive scotch and arguing about who gets the master bedroom. They think they're celebrating their victory. They have no idea that the quiet sister is about to walk through that door with enough evidence to put their entire careers in a blender. As I pull into the driveway, I see Sarah's BMW and James's Tesla parked like they own the place. The lights are on and I can hear music playing. They're having a party on the day of their grandfather's funeral. I take a deep breath, grab the blue folder, and step out of the car. My heart is pounding, but for the first time in my life, it's not from fear, it's from anticipation. I walk up to the front door. I don't knock. I still have my key. I turn it in the lock, the familiar click sounding like a hammer cocking on a gun. I push the door open and step into the foyer. The music stops. Sarah is standing by the fireplace, a glass of wine in her hand. James and Leo are on the sofa, looking at a floor plan of the house. They all turn to look at me, and for a second, there's total silence. "Lily," Sarah says, her voice sharp and annoyed. "What are you doing here? I thought we made it clear that we needed some family time to handle the logistics." "Family time?" I say, my voice steady. "Is that what you call removing me from the group chat and blocking my number?" James scoffs. "Don't be dramatic, Lily. We're just being efficient. You don't understand the legalities of an estate this size. We're doing you a favor by taking the burden off your shoulders." "A favor?" I repeat. I walk into the center of the room and drop the blue folder on the coffee table. It hits with a heavy thud, scattering their floor plans. "Is it also a favor that you're planning to sell this house to Apex Development for a 20% kickback, James?" James freezes. His face goes pale, then a mottled purple. I don't know what you're talking about." "And Sarah," I turn to her, "that pro bono work you did for the city council last year, the one that coincidentally led to your firms getting the contract for the new stadium, Grandpa has the bank statements, the ones showing the consulting fees paid to your husband's shell company." Sarah drops her wine glass. It shatters on the hearth, red wine staining the white stone like blood. "Where did you get that?" she whispers, her voice trembling. "Grandpa," I say. He knew all of it, and he wanted me to make sure that if you ever tried to erase me, I'd have the eraser." Leo stands up, looking like he's about to lunge for the folder. "Give me that, you little—" "Sit down, Leo," I snap, "unless you want me to call the IRS right now and tell them about the charitable donations you've been using to fund your gambling habit in Vegas." Leo sinks back into the sofa, looking like a deflated balloon. The power dynamic in the room has shifted so fast, it's almost dizzying. 10 minutes ago, I was the mess they were cleaning up. Now, I'm the one holding the leash. "What do you want, Lily?" Sarah asks, her voice cold but desperate. "Money? You want a bigger share? Fine, we can rewrite the agreement. We'll give you the lake house and a quarter of the cash." I look around the room, at the house I spent my life maintaining, at the siblings who didn't care enough to visit a dying man, and at the folder that holds the power to ruin them all. "I don't want your money," I say, "and I don't want a bigger share. I want exactly what Grandpa intended, and trust me, you're not going to like what that is." I pick up the folder and head toward the stairs. "I'm staying in the master bedroom tonight. You three can find a hotel. And don't bother trying to take the folder. I've already uploaded digital copies to a secure cloud server. If I don't check in with my lawyer by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, the Black Ledger goes live on every major news outlet in the state." I don't wait for a response. I walk up the stairs, my footsteps heavy and deliberate. I can hear them whispering frantically below me, but I don't care. The war has started, and I've already won the first battle. But as I close the door to the master bedroom and lock it, I feel a wave of exhaustion hit me. This is only the beginning. They're not going to go down without a fight. Sarah is a lawyer, James is a shark, and Leo is a cornered animal. They're going to do everything to get that folder back. I sit on the edge of the bed, the same bed where I sat with Grandpa just a week ago. I remember the last thing he whispered to me before he slipped into his final sleep. "The ledger is just the key, Lily. The real treasure is in the basement, under the third loose stone." I haven't looked in the basement yet. I was too focused on the ledger. But now, with my siblings downstairs plotting my downfall, I realize I need more than just leverage. I need the real treasure. I wait until I hear the front door slam and the sound of their cars peeling out of the driveway. They're gone, for now, probably heading to a bar or a lawyer's office to figure out their next move. I grab a flashlight from the nightstand and head toward the basement door. My heart is racing again. What could be more important than the ledger? What could be the real treasure that Grandpa Silas kept hidden from me until the very end? I reach the basement door and pause. The air coming from below is cold and smells of damp earth and old secrets. I click on the flashlight and start the descent.
Would you risk your life to uncover a secret that could destroy your family's legacy forever? The stairs creak under my weight, each sound echoing in the cavernous silence of the basement. This place always creeped me out as a kid. It's filled with Grandpa's old clock parts, thousands of tiny gears, springs, and glass faces that catch the light of my flashlight like the eyes of 100 mechanical insects. I reach the bottom and head toward the far corner, near the old coal furnace. Under the third loose stone, Grandpa had said. I start counting from the corner. 1, 2, 3. I kneel down and push on the stone. It doesn't budge. I try again, putting my whole weight into it. Nothing. I'm starting to think maybe the dementia had finally won, that there was no treasure, just the ramblings of a dying man. But then I notice a small, circular indentation in the mortar next to the stone. It's the size of a watch battery. I reach into my pocket and pull out the small brass key Grandpa had given me months ago. I'd always assumed it was for a jewelry box or a diary. I press the key into the indentation. There's a faint click, and the third stone pops up an inch. I pull the stone away, my fingers covered in grit. Beneath it isn't a chest of gold or a stack of cash. It's a small, airtight metal box. I pull it out and set it on the floor. My hands are trembling as I flip the latches. Inside is a single VHS tape and a stack of Polaroids. I pick up the first photo. It's Grandpa Silas, much younger, standing next to a man I recognize instantly. It's the governor. But they aren't at a campaign rally. They're in a dark room, and they're holding a suitcase full of cash. I flip through the rest of the photos. It's a gallery of corruption. My father is in some of them. My father, who died 10 years ago and was always held up as a pillar of the community. He wasn't a pillar. He was a bagman. I feel a sick knot forming in my stomach. This isn't just about my siblings. This is about our entire family history. We weren't hard-working clockmakers. We were the middlemen for the most corrupt political machine in the state's history. I look at the VHS tape. It has a date written on it in Grandpa's neat architectural handwriting. November 12th, 1994. The final agreement. I need to see what's on this tape. I know there's an old VCR in the den upstairs. I grab the box and head back up, my mind spinning. My siblings could be back any minute. I need to move fast. I slide the tape into the VCR and hit play. The screen flickers with static, then settles into a grainy, low-light image of a boardroom. I see Grandpa Silas sitting at the head of the table. Across from him are 4 men. I recognize 3 of them, local politicians and business leaders. But the fourth man is the one that makes my blood run cold. It's Sarah's boss, the senior partner at the firm where she just made junior partner. On the tape, they're discussing a disposal, not of trash, of a person, a whistleblower who was going to expose the construction kickbacks. Silas, the senior partner says on the tape, his voice distorted by the old microphone, we need you to handle the paper trail. Make it look like he embezzled the money and fled the country. We'll take care of the rest. Grandpa Silas nods. It's done, but I want a guarantee. My children, they get a seat at the table, forever. Agreed, the senior partner says. The tape cuts to black. I sit there in the dark, the blue light of the TV screen reflecting in my eyes. My entire life, my siblings' careers, our family's wealth, the very house I'm sitting in, it was all bought with the blood of an innocent man. And my siblings know. I realize it now. That's why they were so desperate to get me out. It wasn't just about the money. They knew about the final agreement. They knew that if I ever found this tape, I wouldn't just have leverage over them. I'd have the power to bring down the entire power structure of the state. Suddenly, I hear a car pull into the driveway, then another. I look out the window. It's Sarah, James, and Leo, but they aren't alone. There's a black SUV behind them. 2 men in suits get out. They don't look like lawyers. They look like fixers. Lily, Sarah's voice booms through the front door. Open the door. We know you're in there. We've brought someone who can help us resolve this situation. I scramble to eject the tape, but the old VCR is jammed. Come on, I hiss, hitting the button repeatedly. The front door rattles. They're trying to kick it in. I grab a heavy brass clock from the mantel and smash the VCR. I rip the tape out, the plastic casing shattered, but the film seems intact. I shove it into my waistband and grab the Polaroids. The front door gives way with a deafening crack. Upstairs, James yells. I don't have time to get to the master bedroom. I run toward the kitchen, hoping to get out the back door. But as I reach the hallway, Leo is there. He looks different. His eyes are wide, frantic. He has a heavy wrench in his hand. "Give it to me, Lily," he snarls. "You don't know what you're playing with. This isn't a game. People die for what's in that box." "Like the whistleblower in 1994, Leo?" I say, backing away. "Did you know about that? Did Dad tell you?" Leo flinches. "It was a long time ago. It doesn't matter now. What matters is that if that tape gets out, we all go to prison. Even you. You're an accomplice just by living in this house. I'd rather be in prison than be like you," I spit. I throw the brass clock at his head. He ducks, and I use the second of distraction to bolt into the kitchen. I slam the door and lock it, but I know it won't hold. I look at the window above the sink. It's small, but I can fit. I scramble onto the counter, glass crunching under my feet as I kick out the pane. I hear the kitchen door splintering behind me. "She's going out the window!" Leo screams. I tumble out onto the wet grass, the cold air hitting me like a physical blow. I don't stop to look back. I run toward the woods behind the house. I know these woods. I spent my childhood hiding in them to escape my siblings' bullying. I can hear them behind me, the heavy thud of boots, the beams of flashlights cutting through the trees. "Lily, stop!" Sarah's voice is high-pitched, bordering on hysterical. "We can talk about this. We'll give you anything. 10 million, 20. Just give us the tape." I don't answer. I keep running, my lungs burning, my heart hammering a frantic rhythm against my ribs. I reach the old stone bridge over the creek. It's slippery, and I almost lose my footing. I look back. The two men in suits are gaining on me. They're fast, professional. I reach the other side of the creek and duck behind a massive oak tree. I need a plan. I can't outrun them forever, and I can't go to the police not yet. I don't know who's on their payroll. I pull out my phone. I have 1 bar of service. I open the TikTok app. It sounds crazy, I know, but in 2026, the court of public opinion is faster than any legal system. If I can go live, if I can show the world even a glimpse of what's on these Polaroids, they can't kill me, not without confirming everything I'm saying. I hit the Go Live button. My name is Lily Miller, and my family is trying to kill me because I found proof of a 30-year-old murder. The viewer count starts climbing. 100, 500, 2,000. I'm in the woods behind the Miller estate. If anything happens to me, look for the blue folder in the master bedroom and the digital backup on the Silas archive cloud. I hold up the Polaroid of Grandpa Silas and the suitcase of cash. "This is just the beginning," I say. Suddenly, a flashlight hits me square in the face. "Found her," one of the men in suits yells. I don't turn off the stream. I keep the camera pointed at them as they emerge from the brush. "Stay back," I scream. "I'm live. 10,000 people are watching you right now." The men stop. They look at each other, then at the phone in my hand. They know the rules of the game have changed. But then, Sarah steps forward. She looks disheveled, her expensive coat torn, her hair a mess. She looks at the phone, then at me. "You think that's going to save you, Lily?" She laughs, a sound that's more like a sob. "You think the internet cares about a 30-year-old bribe? They'll forget about you in 10 minutes. But we're family, and family doesn't let family destroy everything we've built." She reaches into her pocket and pulls out a small silver device, a signal jammer. The live icon on my phone turns red, then disappears. Connection lost. The light in Sarah's eyes is terrifying. She's gone past the point of reason. "Now," she says, stepping toward me, "give me the tape, or we'll make sure you join Grandpa Silas a lot sooner than you planned." I back away toward the edge of the stone bridge. The creek below is swollen from the rain, the water rushing over the rocks with a roar. "I don't have it," I lie, my hand gripping the tape in my waistband. "You'll never find it." "Search her," Sarah orders the men. They move in. I have nowhere to go. Behind me is the drop into the freezing water. In front of me is a family that's become a pack of wolves. I look at Sarah, at the sister I used to look up to. "You're not family. You're just a ghost of a dead man's sins." I jump. The water hits me like a wall of ice. It pulls me under instantly, the current dragging me down, spinning me in the darkness. I fight to stay afloat, to keep my head above water, but the weight of the tape and the folder is pulling me down. I hit a rock, a sharp pain exploding in my shoulder. I gasp, swallowing a mouthful of freezing water. I'm losing consciousness. The world is fading to a dull, watery gray. But then I feel something. A hand. Someone is pulling me up. Someone is dragging me toward the bank. I cough, spitting out water, my eyes fluttering open. I expect to see the men in suits. I expect to see Sarah's cold face. But it's not them. It's a man I haven't seen in 10 years. A man everyone said was dead. "Easy, Lily," he whispers. "I've got you. I've been waiting for you to find that tape." It's the whistleblower, the man Grandpa Silas was supposed to have disposed of. He's alive, and he's not alone.